Alright guys, so for this trick, we're going to see if the spectator and I can develop a really cool connection between the two of us. Basically what's going to be happening in this trick is we're going to be trading predictions. So I'm going to make a prediction, which I'm going to give to them, and they're going to make a prediction, which they're going to give to me, and we're going to reveal them at the end and see if we, can sort of have like a little match. So basically this is how the trick would look like. So we're going to shuffle the deck as much as we want to, and the spectator would also be allowed to shuffle the deck. It really does not matter at all. You guys can see here, cards are completely mixed up. So first, I will make my prediction so that I will, not be able to change my mind later. This is going to be my set prediction right here. And I'm going to go with that card right over there. So we're going to set it aside for now. And if I had a spectator, I would allow them to place their hand on top of it so I can't, do anything to it. They're going to hold on to it for the entire part of this trick. So now the spectator will have a completely free choice of their prediction. So they can go ahead and touch any card, let's say this one over here, and I ask them, are they sure? Do they want to change their mind? And they say, yeah, I do want to change my mind. I'm going to go with this one instead. And I say, okay, really? Change your mind again? They're like, no, this is the card. So I say, all right, perfect. So this card is going to be your prediction. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my prediction over here. So my prediction was the 4 of diamonds. What if you predicted a card that was very similar? 4 hearts, and that is the trick, guys, just like this. So yeah guys, that is the trick, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. So now for the tutorial. Alright guys, so this is the tutorial for the trick that you just saw. So for this particular performance, I had to modify it just a little bit because I didn't have a real spectator with me. But if I did have a real spectator, I would be using some misdirection. If I was like doing this to you live, it would have looked a lot better. But trust me guys, this is a really cool trick that you can do to anyone, and they will have their minds blown by this trick. It's such an amazing effect. So anyways, this is how it works. So you have an impromptu trick here, which means you can have the deck be completely shuffled by the spectator. It doesn't really matter. You can shuffle it, they can shuffle it, whatever. So what you're going to do is you're going to have them shuffle the deck, and when they're done, you're going to spread out all the cards here on the table. And what you're going to be looking for is you're going to be looking for a pair of cards. Now, usually this will occur naturally in a deck. And also I should mention that you should have a deck of 52 cards. So you can do this with a borrowed deck, but just make sure it has 52 cards and that there's no cards missing or anything like that. So just by looking at this deck, I can actually already see so many natural pairs right here. 2 black 9s right next to each other. That's perfect. Over here, 2 red 10s right next to each other. That would be perfect as well. And right over here, 2 black 10s. That would be also perfect as well. I'm probably missing another one, but I have no idea. As you can see, when I just shuffle the deck completely randomly, these natural pairs will occur. Now this is like 80% of the time. Obviously it won't occur every single time, so if you spread through the cards and you're looking through and you can't see any pairs at all that are just naturally next to each other, what you can do is you can just look at the top card, you can say, all right, King of Clubs, and then look for the other black king over here, and then what you can do is you can just, while you're spreading through the deck, showing the cards off, what you can do is you can, just casually bring that card up to the top. It doesn't really matter. They won't really care. There's another pair right there that you can use. I would recommend looking for the natural pairs first. So I'm going to actually use these red 10s over here. So I'm going to keep my eye on those red 10s. And what's going to happen is as I square up the deck and spread through the cards, I'm just going to keep my little finger here on that last 10. So now I can spread through, and what I can do is I can lift up and do a little turnover pass just like this. And that way I can get those 2 10s to the top. If you can't do a turnover pass, what you can do is just cut them to the top like this. You can simply just cut them, and that will work just as well. So once you have a pair of cards on top, it can be any pair in the entire deck. It really doesn't matter. But once you have them on top, you're going to start by making your prediction. So this move right here is called the bonsai spin out move. And what it looks like is it looks like this. And it looks like you're taking a random card from the middle, but you're actually just taking the top card. So what you're doing is you're holding the deck just like this sideways. So you're holding your thumb here, your middle, ring, and pinky here on the other side, and your index finger is just kind of here on the top. Now what's going to happen is your other hand is going to come over, and your thumb is going to go a little bit higher than this thumb. So you can see this one is pretty low on the deck. So you don't want to put it the same place. You want to put it a little bit higher, just like this. Because what's going to happen is you're going to use your left hand here to cut about half the deck. So you're going to lift up about half the deck over here, and you're going to slide it over to the left. So take your left hand here with your thumb, break off about half the cards, and you're going to slide them over to the left. That's what's happening. But your index finger here is on top of this half, and it's contacting this top card. So what's happening is you're going to cut off half the cards, your index finger is going to contact. As you slide out, you're actually going to be kind of propelling this card forward like this. So you're just forcing the top card. So you're just going to break off half the cards, keep your index finger on it, and then kind of just split your hands apart and keep your index finger applying pressure, and that will allow the card to shoot out. Obviously, don't flip the card over when you're doing it. You don't want it to fall face up. You want it to remain face down because you want to keep the end reveal. So you're going to do the bonsai spin out move, which looks something like this. And trust me, from the front point of view, it will look much, much cleaner. It will look like the card really does come from the middle of the deck, just like this. So you're going to shoot the card out, and you're going to give it to them. They can hold on to it. It really doesn't matter. They can put their hand on it. They can hold it in their hand, whatever. So you just force them this 10, and now the other 10 is on top. So now what you're going to do is you're going to allow them to touch any card in the deck, and they can change their mind as many times as they want. It doesn't matter. Let's say they settle on this card over here. Now you're not going to flip it over because this is obviously a random card. What you're going to do first is you're actually going to be allowing the spectator to flip over their card first. And what you're going to be doing is kind of gesturing with your hands here, asking them to flip over the card. When they flip over the card, all of their attention is on this card. Nobody is watching you. Literally nobody is watching your hands during this part of the trick. All the attention will be on the spectator flipping over the card in their hands. They will be looking at this card. Nobody will be looking at your hands because what you're going to do is called a top change. As they flip over this card and look at it, you're going to be gesturing just naturally like this. You're essentially taking the top card of the deck and you're switching it out for the card in your hand, just like this. So you're going like this, and just like that, the top change is done. And now I've switched out the card for this 10 of diamonds. Now in the performance video that I just did, what I had to do was I had to hide it with my arm here, so that's kind of why it was a little bit awkward. So what I had to do was I had to turn my body, do the top change as I picked up the card and flipped it over, and now I did the top change. So that's essentially what the top change is, but don't do the turning body one. That was only for this video. All you guys have to worry about is just doing it right in front of the spectator's face. Obviously, you want to get it as clean as possible, but you can honestly just like go like this, and it really, they will not see it at all. Of course, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to have a good top change. So how I do it is I hold the card just on the bottom right corner over here of the card in my hand. I hold just like this, and I use my thumb here to push the card off. And what I'm going to do is as I push the card off and place it underneath the card in my hand, my fingers here, they're going to kind of lift up just a little bit so that I can allow some space. So now I'm kind of holding the card with my pinky here and my thumb and my index finger. My middle and ring finger are going to kind of just lift up just like this. So only those two fingers here. What's going to happen is they're going to lift up as I push the card off. Then I'm going to line it up as close as possible. Once the two cards are lined up, my middle and ring finger clamp right down on that bottom card, and my thumb clamps down on the top card. And now I'm going to kind of use my thumb here to kind of push it off, and then use the thumb here to kind of glide it back. And then don't move your right hand at all, only move your left hand. So keep this hand stationary and move this hand forward. That's like the main part of the top change. You don't want to be, moving this hand. You want to be moving the other one. So you want to go like this and move your other hand. And that will make it look so much better, guys. So move your left hand with the deck. This is the hand that you want to move it with. Just like this. So once you do this move, the card will be switched out, and you do this as they're looking at their card, so they see 10 of hearts, and now you say, so that was the card that I predicted. Look at the card that you predicted, and it's the perfect match, and they will freak out because it looks like you didn't even do anything. It looks like you're just gesturing with your hands. They will not notice the top change at all. So go ahead, practice this one, guys. This does require some practice just because of the top change and that little bonsai spin out move, but once you have it down, this is a really, really fun trick to do, and it will completely fool your spectators. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this trick, and see you guys for my next video. Bye.